Hello! Welcome back to the garage. I am Kyle. This is Give Pause Hobby. It is been a perfect day for getting into the garage and getting things recorded. And today I'm really excited to record. So I got hands on a preview copy of a game I'm very much looking forward to, and that is Long Shot, the dice game. I mean, just look at these marvelous horses. Just look at those faces. So this is a roll and write game where you are taking bets on horses as they race around the track. You're going to the concession stand, you're buying jerseys and helmets and winning money for your bets, winning money for owning horses because you can buy them too. It's just a super, super delightful game. It's incredibly colorful. I'm showing you pictures of it right now. And it's just fun to look at, a fun world to visit, and I'll get to how the actual game shakes out, but I bet you could imagine how I might be feeling about it already. So since this is Give Pause Hobby, the majority of the games on this program are solo. That's what we're here for. This is kind of like a one-stop shop, a quick teach, a playthrough, and then an overview, kind of what I feel about the solo game, what I feel about the two-player game, and some other random thoughts too. Now, just a heads up, this copy that I have is pretty much what the non-Kickstarter exclusive box is, but this is still a work in progress. There could be things that are slightly different when the game is finally out. So that's why I'm not doing devoting a full, really in-depth teach. It's kind of just like a quick hit of knowledge, and then we can get to the game because things might change. So with that, let's bring it over to the table and take a long shot and see if we can win one. Oh, right. Yeah. Against, this is a Roland Wright, and I'm going to be versing Roland Wright, the automa that you play against in the game. It's, again, just the package, the imagery, the setting. It's all wonderful. It's delightful. Let's show you some of it in motion. All right. So first of all, this is it's a work in progress setup. I do not have a solution quite yet for how I'm going to hold the GoPro in a better area, or rather angle, to film games, but this is what I got right now. A little bit of a side isometric view. So, in this game, Long Shot, we each, as human meatbag players, have these cards. So we have for our bets, our jerseys, our helmets, and our concessions. This isn't going to be a huge how-to on how to play this game. There are enough of those out there. It's going to mainly focus on the Roland Wright board. So, again, Roland Wright, as in the person. So, the game is largely set up the same way when you're playing against the solo opponent. So you're going to bring this board out for them. That's a one major change, pretty simple. After you deal our starting cards, so go ahead and get that done. So I have $3 on 2 and $3 on 7. And he has 2 on 3 and 4 on 7. And I have these concessions marked, but you do not mark the concessions for the robot because he does not have any concessions to mark. So these are all done. Then go back over here into the pile. So mine's all marked. So is his, or its. And then last but not least, he starts with $20 as opposed to my $12. So that's the entirety of the setup changes for Roland Wright. Mine's the same, his slightly easier. So for the robot board, you have 9 rows and then 3 columns. So this is going to be kind of a battleship-esque grid of you're going to find, for instance, if we rolled a 3 and a 2, so we would go to 3 row and the 2 column, and we would bet $1 on each owned horse. This is like the brain of Roland Wright. So the speed is going to determine which column. The horse will determine the row. So in the 3 column, let's start with the most common, because if you don't know, there are 3 2s, there are 2 3s, and there is only 1 1. So the most common, the 2s, are mostly betting on horses using the actual money that they have. The second most common, 3, is mostly going to mark the horse cards so they can move around more, similar to a player taking a jersey action. And then last but not least, the rarest action, number 1, is mostly buying horses. Okay, so the player always goes first in every turn. It does not go back and forth. So I'll be rolling, I'll take my turn, and then it's Roland's. Now, we will always use the horse and the speed die to find the spot on this grid the action he takes. But let's say he got a 3 instead. If it ever matches up, it says, mark all owned horses boxes on, and then a die symbol. That die symbol is another roll. So we will use the initial roll to find the action, but then we'll roll it again to find out what the value is for that die symbol. In this case, 2. So instead of me going through all these actions, I'll just kind of explain them as we go, because there are most of them are pretty straightforward. Some of them are a little bit kind of interesting in their own way. Now, if the action cannot be taken, then Roland takes the default action at the bottom of the column. So free $2 bet on horse and lead, and ignore the no betting limitation. Advance horse with highest bet, 2 spaces, or just get $3. So those are things that will always have, that can always be done. Some of these may actually not, because, mark lead owned horses box on a thing. Well, if you've already done that on that, obviously you can't take that action. So, some rules on Roland. Spending money, he uses his own money unless they're labeled as free. Pretty simple. Ties for taking action. If there are ever ties, and I'm sure this will come up in the game, he will always go for the lowest number. So, over here. The 1 as opposed to the 8. Scoring. So he earns money for his bets, his remaining money, and owned horses that finish first, second, or third. Write the final score down at the bottom of the solo board column. Determine your score and compare it to his. The player with the most money wins. So pretty simple. He obviously does not have the helmet and jersey paired up for $5 for every helmet and jersey that I have marked off. He does not have that because he doesn't have helmets and jerseys. Terminology. So this is going to be important because there's some shorthand to make all these actions fit in these little spaces. Lead, the horse or horses that have not yet finished and have the least spaces until they finish. So if one had already finished, and these are all, let's just take it easy and say, this is a very strange setup. But in this case, this is the first place horse. However, in this case, lead horse would be here. Or if there were 2 horses here, these would both be lead, but he would go for 7 if he was only doing 1 because it's a lower number. And that's how lead horse works. Last place, horses that have the most spaces until they finish. In this case, it is a 5-way tie. But he would take the lowest number of these that, the ones that are in the tie. And then horse's box, the horse number on the secondary movement bar of the indicated horse card. So if it ever says, mark all owned horses boxes on die symbol. So he would do this, he would go to 6, and let's say he already owned 1, 2, and 3. He would mark off 1, but 2 and 3 are already marked off on 6. So he would just take one of those things. And again, if 1 had already been marked and he can't mark anything, then he would just go down to the bottom and he would do the asterisk action, which is place a free $2 bet on the horse in the lead. And that's it. That's how Roland Wright operates. So I am a firm believer as a teacher and obviously the proprietor of this channel that people learn best by doing or seeing things done. So here is a solo game of long shot, me versus Roland Wright. So 4 charges out of the gates. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 gets 1 measly spot. Okay. Your bet is free when placed on horses you have no bet on. That is a really cool card. My wife made really good use of that when we played. You know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to buy 4. So that cost me $8. Not, as always, when I'm showing you this game, I am making no promises that what I do is going to be, good strategy. So take it, for what you will. So 4 to 3, he gets $4. That's a pretty easy one. Done. Round 2, 4, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, the good news is, I seem to have backed a good horse here. So first things first, I am going to take a free bet. So I'm going to do the betting action up to 3. But because I just had this and I didn't have a bet, it doesn't cost me any money. I'm definitely going to get some, and then he gets another $4. It's an interesting match already. Okay. 1 takes boop boop 2 spots, and 6 gets out of the gate. Okay, so 1, I think, you know what, I'm going to start to mark off my concessions, and 1, 2, so I got 1 there. He's going to bet 2 on the lead horse. Yeah, solid move, because it's a commanding lead. So $2 on pink, and he's down to $26 to my 4. All right, 7. This is exactly where 7 wound up in the game last night, but at the end. He didn't have a tremendously great race. So 1 goes again. 3 goes out. Also, pro tip. I know that obviously as a track coach, but also, for horse racing, it makes more sense to take the inside. Just a heads up, use the outside as much as possible, because on these it just gets really confusing when you have these crammed around here. For those who are more spatially oriented, I'm sure you already noticed that, but for those not, there you go. You got that going for you. All right, so I'm going to mark Jersey on 7, and I'm going to go ahead and mark... Ooh. That's interesting. You know what? No. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to buy 7 as well. So I have 0 money. But, hear me out. I get free bets on horses that I don't have bets with for. At scoring, I gain $2 for each horse I have a bet on. So I feel like these two could link up. Let's see how it goes. 7-2. Player's lead owned horse, -2 spaces. Ugh. Barf. Don't like that. Okay, 5 goes 2. Let's practice what I preach here. Move these guys out. 5. So 4 goes 1. 1 goes 1. 5. What do I want to do with 5? I think now I will do Jersey, but I'm going to mark 7 because I kind of want... 4 already has a good lead. I'll help that, but I want 7 to do some stuff. Okay, so 5-2. Bet $2 on $2 each on 2 lead horses. Okay, so 2 on 1 and adds 2 to 4, so it goes up to 4. So he's down to $22. Now, just like with the great part about this game is that you really can't completely blow out the table, because if you just like put everything into a horse, you mark all these things on the cards, you get secondary movements, you help it out by pushing forward, you bet a whole bunch on it. The rest of the table can just bet on it too. So right now, I own this horse, and I have a $3 bet, but he's got a $4 bet. So, you know, there's a certain point at which he, boop, boop, as in Roland, would, you know, be also helping this horse out and have enough running on it that I might want to back off and do something else. We will just see. So he's going to bet two more dollars on those horses. Yeah, so I'm interested now in seeing how I can get this in my favor. You know what? I'm going to bet for free. Just get that now. So $3. That's another $2 at the end of the game. And he's in third. So he's going to put 2 more bucks on each of these. So 4 and 6. He's down to 18. Take that, Roland. 6. Boop, boop. Then what? 2 and 3. Okay. 6, huh? Ooh, yeah. I'm going to mark that off. That's a good one to help out concessions. 6 and 2. Free $1 bet on each owned horse. He doesn't have an owned horse. So the way I'm reading this is, since he doesn't have any owned horses yet, he's going to do this thing. Because otherwise, I mean, I guess you could play it where that's just like bad planning on his part, but, you know, I'm not going to do it. Advance horse with highest bet, 2 spaces. Okay. Yeah, interesting. 8 goes 2. 1, 2. And 2 goes 1. And 4 goes 1. Woof. Let's just see what he's going to do. Player's highest bet, horse, minus 2 spaces. Okay, I can handle that. 8, huh? You know what? I'm going to do Jersey again. And I'm going to mark 7. Because I do want 7 to... That's... I mean, he does have a bet on 7. Maybe I shouldn't be pulling for as much as I am. Oh, wait, no. That's not my... So my highest bet is a tie. That's my lead horse. Oh, okay. Player's highest bet. That's all of them. And 2 is the lowest number. So 4 doesn't get targeted on that. Interesting. So 1, 4, and 7. Ooh. Okay. Man, those lead horses are just getting huge bets. Green. You know what? I'm going to use a wild and throw a $3 bet on 1 for free. And then he's going to put $2 on the lead horses. So obviously that one. And then 1 breaks the tie. So 6 and 8. I mean, do I need to start like sabotaging my horse? I feel like I do. 6, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 and 3. Okay. I'm gonna throw down a bet. I don't know if I don't know if my strategy is gonna work here. Okay, mark lead owned horse box on. So he doesn't own a horse. So he's just gonna get $3. He has not purchased a horse yet. 3 goes 2. So that means 1 goes 1. Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. Take another free bet. I'm just all over the place. $1 on each owned horse. No, because he doesn't own any. So advance horse with highest bet, 2 spaces. My goodness. You know what I probably should have done? I probably should have just been raising my bet on 4 this whole time. So 1 and 3. So 7. So now he is going to buy a horse. just as a kind of heads up to me. You know what? Ugh, man. Yeah, I'm not thrilled with this, but I'm gonna mark the helmet on 4. I'm playing catch up on this. That allows me to now bet on him still. Ugh. I don't feel good about that. Okay, so buys horse, the die, so 5. So an important note, the horses that Roland buys are essentially considered to not have an ability. He will get the purse earnings, but the special game ability is not a thing that affects him. Okay. 2, boop, boop, 2, and 5 goes 1. Okay. 2, 2. Huh. Boy. I think I need to kind of charge concessions. Take charge on getting these concessions, because otherwise I need to get these things going. 2, 2. Bet $3 on own. Oh, so he owns 5. Boop. And that is $3. He's down to 12. Must be nice. He's at my starting amount of money. 3, 1. And 1. Ooh, he's going to buy the lead unowned horse. I don't know how much cheating it is to watch out for that sort of stuff, but you know what? I'm going to do Jersey and 7. And then he's going to, what did I say? Buy lead unowned horse, which is 1 chain reaction. So he's down to $2. So now I feel like he's going to do these more often, because there's going to be times when he just doesn't have the money to do stuff. 8, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 goes 1. 4 goes 1. And 7 goes 1. 8, 3. Well, that's not a good move, I don't think. I think I've got to use my thing and mark off. Let's mark off that one. And then I'm gonna go ahead and. Ooh. I mean, I could buy a horse for free. No. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 8, 3. Mark lead owned horse's box on itself. So he owns 1. So he's going to make sure 1 does well. 3 goes 2. Junk, junk. And then 1 and 7. 3 goes 2. Let's go ahead and mark that. Bet $1 on each owned horse. So he's going to 7 and 4, and he's down to 0 money. He's out. 7 goes 1. 1 goes 1. 3 goes 1. Uh-oh. Yeah, I might have done messed up. I pushed 4 back so far that, I do own that horse. So I do want it to do well, just I don't want to totally screw myself over. Ah, shoot. That might have been a dumb move, Kyle. Okay, let's 7, 1, buy horse. Oh, he can't. So I'm just not even going to roll. So he's going to get $3. It's out of money. 4 goes 2. Okay. And 2 goes 1. Now, interesting. I could get the column here and do a free bet, which I could. I could also, you know what? No, I'm going to do that. I'm going to mark it, but then I'm going to get the free purchase of 3. Prevent him from getting it. This also makes it easier for me to hit concessions to finish out the game. Free $2 bet on 1. Wow. $9. The horse that's in second place. Oh, 1, 2, 3. And yellow gets 1. That's it. Oofa doofa. Okay. I guess I'll do Jersey. Because I can't bet. I just realized. So Jersey 4, and let's go ahead and throw 7 on there, as is my want. 4, 3, $2 for him. Five, 1, red, and 4 takes first place. Let's put some in here. Cool. I am now. Yeah, let's finish out this concession. So $5. I think let's get me some. I already did that one, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay, let's do -2. Bonk, bonk, and bonk, bonk. His 2 horses that he owns. Take that, Roland. Buy horse. I suppose it's possible. 4. No, he cannot. So he gets 3 more bucks. 7. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, nice. And 1. That's it. Nope, 3. That's all good. I'm okay with all of that. Everything that just happened. Let's throw on a helmet, because I might need that soon. Mark lead owned horse on 8. So lead owned is 1. Here we go. 6. 1, 2, 3. Haven't seen that in a while. 2 gets 1, and 3 gets 1. Okay, 6. I don't have. Ooh, I can finish out a thing there. Let's do that. So, concession time. 1, 2, 3. Let's try that. 6, 3. Gain $1 for each X marked on lead horse. There are 2, 1 and 3, so he gets $2. He's up to 10. 7, 3. Oh my goodness! Look at that! It's like clockwork against a clockwork opponent. It's beautiful, beautiful. Oh, so good. Okay, very cool. Let's go ahead and throw. I can do this thing. So I'm adding 1, turning a 7 into an 8, so I get a concession. And let's go ahead and get a free. Shoot. Let's do that and get a free helmet on. That's a dumb move, huh? Yes, he said to himself. Free bet. Let's throw down a bet on 2. That's one that we are different on, so it's possible I could mark lead owned horse on 5. He cannot, so he places a free $2 bet on horse in the lead. Womp womp for me. 5. 1, 2, 3. 1 gets 1. 4 gets 1. 7 gets 1. Okay, 5. What do I do with that? I guess go ahead and get the helmet. He marks horse's box on 7, marching highest bet, which is that, which is already done. So he places a $2 bet on horse in the lead, which is 1. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, good thing I pushed 4 back. Or sorry, 1 back, because he has a pretty insane bet on that horse at this point. 3. That is a 3. I guess I'll take the helmet, get some extra money there. 3, 2. $1 on each owned horse. 12 and 5. And this goes down to 8. 4. So that's it. Not much going on with that. Ooh, cannot do anything. So get my horseshoe back, and he gets $2. 3, just across the finish line. I own all the horses that won. Oh, and that's it. Well, but we finished the round. So that was what, a 3? Yeah, I'll do a concession, I suppose. Now, question. I could get $7, right? That's the play. That's definitely the play. Yeah, because that's just 7 points. Sure. And buys lead unowned horse, which is 2. It's probably a bad play, since it's worth nothing. Okay, let's see. So, 4 is in first, 7 is in second, 3 is in third, 1 past the thing. So, boop, 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 and boop. Let's see. $3, nothing for 2. $12, 18, nothing, nothing. 24, nothing. So 15, 33, 57. 57 for my bets. So $12 for getting in the zone, nothing. 16. Ooh, 48. What? Nothing, nothing. 32. Now remember, he doesn't get the money for the pairs, so this, I don't know. 28, 60, 76, 108. 108. Oh my God. 108. No money. None of his own horses. So just 108 is his end. So I run the field on the purse. So 50, 60, 70, $75. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I crush. 1, 2, 3. $15 for pairs. $57 and $7 left over. So 10, 17, 24, 9. 150. No. Yes. 154 to 108. So, that is playing against Roland Wright. I feel really good about how I kind of engineered this to work out. It's a really interesting way, like this brain, the way it operates. All right, so that was a playthrough after a crash course teach of the solo mode for Long Shot. And I've got to say, from just looking at the Kickstarter page, watching a couple other videos, how-tos and playthroughs, I had a pretty good idea that I would like this game, and I was 100% right. Let's start with the solo game. So, first of all, it is not a beat-your-own-score solo game, which for many roll and writes, not all, but many of them, that's kind of, you can play it solo, but it's going to be, if you're not someone who tracks stats religiously like I do, I guess you could like write your scores in the back of the rule book or the inside of the box or on a sheet of paper. It still gives you that mental exercise of playing the game, but you're not interacting with other people. So it's just you in a vacuum. What is the best you can do given the random chance of whether it's like a flippin' fill or a roll and write or whatever the game happens to be, because there's lots of those names these days. So it's not that. I love playing against roll and write. Is a super easy opponent to pilot, as I refer to it in Root with the Root bots. So super easy to get to the table, which is definitely a plus for lots of people. Even people who like pretty heavy solo games, on a regular basis, it's just fun to have something that's easy to get to the table. You still feel like you're engaging with an opponent, albeit one that doesn't always make like the absolute pinnacle, bleeding edge best play, but also has some capability of some real like burst potential of buying the horse that's in the lead, betting on all this sort of stuff, like messing up your horse. It all has to do with the roll of the dice. But the great part about it is, with that, because you are interacting with another player, you get the full experience of the combo building and the luck mitigation or capitalization that you get in the meatbags game. Because that's the whole thing. It's not just, there are some roll and writes where, the extent of your luck mitigation or capitalization is just like mathing out what makes the most sense based on like how often a roll comes up, how many like whatever it is you're trying to cross off or fill up or whatever. This game is you get into the engine of it. You get to fiddle with it and mess with levers and turn knobs and all this sort of stuff. There's a lot of different ways that you can, again, either try to mitigate the bad luck or kind of stack the deck for like these really cool luck-driven plays. So let's move on over to the meatbags game, because all of the comments I have for that apply to the solo game, which again speaks to the quality of the solo experience. Not all of them. You can't stare across the table daggers at person who just like, bought the horse that you are clearly ready to buy. That whole stuff that doesn't exist. But for the majority, it's all there. So the game is easy to play. Solo mode, 2-player. I imagine as high up as you want to go, and it's just as easy to like craft your different strategies, to implement them, and to see whether or not they work. The game is so boiled down to just rolling those 2 dice and these different options you have. One a turn based off of that number and color of the horse die is just like so focusing. It's laser honed on exactly that one variable, and then you get to choose what you want to do with it. There's the game is so distilled that you really get to see, or at least like I was tracking, when I would buy the horse that you get $2 every time you roll yellow 2. I was like keeping a tally of how many times it happened. It happened 2 times in the game against my wife. 2 times. The horse cost $10. I was like, I'll probably get that money back. I didn't. I got 4 of it back. But it's easy to see the effect that you're having on the game, and I think that's really fun. And because of that, in what that enable. Oh, here it is. The thing that enables that to happen is the fact that there are lots of different pathways you could go. You can do a lot of jerseys and kind of fiddle with the secondary motion of one or more horses. You can just fill up on bets. You can play the concession game early, and the concession stand gives you lots of options, from pushing horses forward, pulling them back, free bids or bets, free horse purchases. There's just lots of different ways you can go. And when you're playing with meat bags, there's a spectrum of how much you want to get in someone else's face. Because I would imagine if you want to be a contender, you're probably going to need to somewhat get in someone's face. It's not a completely anodyne, Euro experience where you're all just like in your own corners, like doing your own thing and comparing victory points at the end. Like if you purchase a horse, it is a zero-sum game. You are taking that away from someone. Or obviously, like, you can push someone's horse back or get yours in front. So there's lots of ways you can needle your opponent if you want to. And for the most part, you can kind of keep to yourself and just help your odds and let your odds speak for themselves. Last but not least, I have played this for, I think, a 25-minute session with our daughter, who is going to be 4 in May. It is currently March. No, it's April now. So she's almost 4. And the fact that the horses are just so, just so adorable, and like cartoony, and the chunky, and the colors are there, and this die is just so fun to look at. It's a great game to just, we're at that stage now where we're slowly trying to introduce her, hoping that she's going to be as into board games as her mother and her father, but also wanting her to have fun and sort of teaching her these things, helping work on numbers, working on colors, working on taking turns, counting. And obviously we didn't play the game with the betting and everything. We were just rolling the dice and moving the horses around the track. And it was wonderful. It was so much fun, and she loved it. She loved looking at the horses. We were kind of cheering for them. So obviously that's not like the game, but for me, I have a whole category in my BG Stats app, which are light games, which are, using the components of a game box, like the things that are inside of it, but not playing the game, just enjoying the toyness of them, which is something that I grew up doing a lot of. We did play games, didn't have nearly as many as my wife and I have now, but there were some of the games that I don't know if I ever actually learned how to play them. We just played with the toys of them, moved things around a map, came up with our own games with the components. And this, I don't know if for a lot of people, I'm sure that means nothing in terms of a review. But for some of you who are parents, or cool, uncles, aunts, whoever else, this is just a super fun game to play as adults. A really enjoyable, quick, easy, but, thought-provoking solo game. I engineered that win, and I feel pretty darn good about it. But it's also a really cool game just to, have fun with the components, with the little ones. And if you are interested in working on numbers or colors, it's pretty awesome for that. So with that, long shot, this is a very different, what is that word called? Format than my typical solo reviews. But because I wanted to get this out in a one-stop shop, teach, play, overview, I didn't only want to talk about solo. Maybe I'll do that again down the road. This is sort of, as a whole package, I think Long Shot is delightful. The box is the fact that they have, things printed over here. The fact that the back of these cards have things printed on them. They absolutely don't need that. The fact that the horses, if you look, the little pattern, the color pattern, is also on the back. Again, they do not need that. It's just a really neat and, obviously double-sided, so you can actually move the horse around the track. That one you could make a case for would probably be kind of important, but I know that that's not, the cheapest thing in the world, and it's in the game. So I think overall it's an awesome package, and I can wholeheartedly recommend it to just about anyone. Maybe if you are strictly playing it for solo, you have to be willing to say, yeah, I could do with a lighter solo game. But if you have another person, a group, it goes up to 8 people, or little ones that just like playing with fun games, and you like playing it solo, home run. I know it's a different activity, but there it is. So with that, long shot, the dice game, it is Game Garage approved. So thanks for stopping by. See you next time with whatever I bring to the table. We're in a pretty awesome weather-wise time of year when it's not too hot in here, it's not too cold in here. I just need to find the time to actually do some stuff, and we'll see what I get to the channel. Thanks for checking it out. We'll see you next time.